How's it going, everyone? Welcome to week 9 of my NFL predictions. Last week I went 8-5, putting my current record at 37-1, and all the teams on the bye week. And we'll get started with Thursday Night Football, which is going to be in a few hours between the Ravens and Dolphins. I have the Ravens winning this game with a score of 35-24. Last week, the Ravens, without Lamar Jackson, were able to beat the 4-2 Bears, and the Dolphins had probably their best win of the season against the Falcons. Definitely a shock there. And I'm going to pick the Ravens just because Lamar's going to be back in this game, and I don't think the Dolphins are going to be ready for Lamar or Derrick Henry. Not that I think the Dolphins are going to just lay down and die, but, I trust the Ravens offense more than the Dolphins offense, and that's what it really comes down to. Alright, next up we have the Bears taking on the Bengals. I actually have the Bengals winning this one 27-21. Last week the Bears that I just mentioned, they lost to the Ravens without Lamar. And the Bengals lost to the Jets, and that was the first win of the Jets season. So both these teams coming off pretty bad losses. But the reason I'm picking the Bengals is because they're at home, and I trust their offense more than the Bears offense, because the Bears offense, it looked very questionable in that Ravens game, and I don't know how to feel about them now. And I will acknowledge this, Joe Flacco is questionable to play, but I do think that he's going to, and if he doesn't, I guess that throws things in the air, but I'm just going to assume that he's going to play and that the Bengals are going to win. Alright, next up we got NFC North football between the Vikings and Lions. I have the Lions winning this one 31-17. The Vikings got absolutely killed on Thursday Night Football last week by the Chargers, and the Lions had a bye week last week, so they got to sit back and watch that massacre. And the reason I'm picking the Lions, the Lions are a better team, and this is going to be J.J. McCarthy's first game back in a while, because he got injured in week 2, and he hasn't been back since, so we'll see how he does against the Lions, but I just don't think the Vikings offense is going to be able to keep up with the Lions offense. Alright, next up we have the Panthers taking on the Packers. I have the Packers winning this one 27-17. The Panthers put up a stinker against the Bills last week, and the Packers were able to come back in the fourth quarter against the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. And I will acknowledge in that Panthers game that Bryce Young was not playing, but I don't think he alone was going to change the outcome of that game, considering how bad they lost. And it's kind of the same here, except I'm pretty sure Bryce Young's going to play, so I think it's going to be close at least, but I'm still going to go with the 5-1-1 Packers to win this game. Alright, next up we have the Broncos taking on the Texans. I have the Broncos winning this one 20-17. And last week the Broncos absolutely killed the Cowboys, and the Texans were able to get it done against the banged up 49ers. So both these teams had pretty good wins last week, and we'll see who can keep the momentum going. And honestly, this is going to be a really good game in my opinion. I think it's going to be low scoring, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a bad game. I just think it's going to be really close, but I'm going to go with the team that I trust the offense more with, and the Broncos. Alright, next up we have the Falcons taking on the Patriots. Patriots, I have them winning 31-24. And last week the Falcons absolutely sucked against the Dolphins, and the Patriots were able to crush the Browns despite Myles Garrett having 5 sacks, but that didn't really matter. And, this is definitely a game that the Falcons want to win, not to kind of avenge themselves for that certain Super Bowl that a lot of people like to talk about, 28-3. But yeah, the thing is, I think the Falcons can make this competitive, but at the end of the day, I'm going with the Patriots. They're at home, they're a better team, and Drake May is playing like an MVP right now. Alright, next up we have the 49ers taking on the Giants. The 49ers, I have them winning 20-10. The 49ers, as I just mentioned, lost to the Texans last week. And the Giants, this was a rough week for them. They lost to the Eagles, and they lost Cam Scatavo for the rest of the season. So, honestly, Giants fans, I don't know how you do it. But, I guess you're just pushing through. And you could win this game, but I'm just going to go with the team that has more talent. To be honest, both these teams are very injured, but the 49ers are more talented, so I'm going with them. Alright, next up we have the Colts taking on the Steelers. You guys ready for this? I have the Steelers winning 27-20. And the Colts, they were able to crush the Titans last week with Jonathan Taylor having 3 touchdowns. And the Steelers, they lost to the Packers last week on Sunday Night Football. And yeah, I'm picking the Steelers solely because of the curse wheel. Brandon Perna's curse wheel, I know you've heard me talk about it over and over. It cursed the Colts. And honestly, I'm not going against that wheel. It technically was wrong last week when it cursed the Broncos, but we did lose Patrick Surtain II. I actually completely forgot to mention that. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Steelers. I think they're going to have a get-right game, and yeah, you can thank the curse wheel for that. All right, next up, we have the Chargers taking on the Titans. Yeah, no surprise here. The Chargers winning 34-10. Last week, the Chargers won 37-10 on Thursday Night Football. And the Titans, they lost 38-14 against the Colts. And, I mean, nothing crazy here. I mean, the Chargers should win this game. I don't see any scenario where the Titans win this game, barring some kind of freak injury or something to one of the Chargers players. But, yeah, that's all I really got to say about this game. All right, heading to the 4 o'clock slate, we have the Jags taking on the Raiders. I have the Jags winning 24-7, and both these teams were on bye weeks last week, so this game could genuinely go either way, but I'm just going to lean more towards the team that has a somewhat functioning offense in the Jags as opposed to a non-functioning offense in the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders have just been a terrible team this year. And the Jags, they haven't been amazing, but they've been somewhat competent. So I'm going to go with the team that has shown flashes of competence as opposed to the team that's, well, not competent in the Raiders. All right, next up, we got the Saints taking on the Rams. I have the Rams winning this one 35-10. Last week, the Saints couldn't really do anything against the Bucs, and the Rams, they had a bye week last week, so this should be a win for the Rams. I couldn't imagine any scenario. It's kind of like Chargers-Titans. Like, barring some crazy injury to, like, Matthew Stafford or something, the Rams will win this game, and probably by a lot, like the score would suggest. All right, and we got our annual Chiefs-Bills game of the regular season. It's going to be a really good game, and I have the Bills winning 27-24. Last week, the Chiefs took care of the Commanders on Monday Night Football, and the Bills, they were able to take care of the Panthers on Sunday afternoon football. And, I mean, both these teams are certainly contenders, so this game could genuinely go either way, but because it's the Bills, and they always beat the Chiefs in the regular season, and the Bills are at home, I'm going to have to go with them, but we'll see what happens. All right, next up on Sunday Night Football, we have the Seahawks taking on the Commanders. I have the Seahawks winning 34-13. Last week, the Commanders absolutely killed by the Chiefs, as I just mentioned, and the Seahawks had a bye week. So, yeah, I mean, even if Jayden Daniels was playing in this game, which I don't think he is, he might be, but it's not going to affect my outcome. I just think the Seahawks are a better team. I mean, Sam Darnold's been balling. Their defense is actually really good. And the Commanders' offense has had some woes. Their defense is awful. Scary Terry will not be playing, so they're just so injured on offense and bad on defense right now, so Seahawks. All right, and for the final game, we have the Cardinals taking on the Cowboys. I have the Cowboys winning a shootout 40-37. Cowboys got their shit kicked by the Broncos last week, and the Cardinals had a bye week last week. And honestly, I just feel like this is a game. This might be the best game of the week, honestly. I mean, both of these teams, the Cardinals, they're losing, but they have literally been competitive in every game. Like, they've literally, every single game has been one score at the end of the game. So that's kind of crazy. The Cowboys, I mean, they had a bad week last week, but their offense is unbelievable. So I think this is going to be a shootout, but I'm still going to pick the Cowboys because of coaching and, well, the roster. And that's going to do it. Here are all the scores that are all lined up for you if you want to look at it and call me dumb the next week. I don't know, whatever you want to do. And as I mentioned before, the Bucks, Eagles, Jets, and Browns are on the bye week. So we have 14 games this week, I believe. Yeah, 14 games. And yeah, we'll watch all those 14 games through Thursday through Monday night. And we'll come back on Tuesday and go over them, see what we got, and yeah, I'm gonna get off of this, video right now, get it posted and all that. So yeah, I'll see you all in my next video. Peace out.